Good morning, beloved child of God, as this new day opens before you like a quiet sunrise, stretching across the sky. May your heart slow its pace, and your mind soften enough to feel the nearness of the one who has already gone ahead of you. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Psalm 118:24 becomes the first whisper of peace, wrapping softly around your spirit. God invites you now into a sacred stillness that cannot be earned. He invites you to breathe deeply and release the weight you carried into this morning. He calls you into a moment where nothing else matters but His presence. He draws you into peace that stabilizes everything trembling inside you. Lord, as we begin this morning prayer, we remember how you have guided your people through storms and seasons, just as you guided Moses through the wilderness when everything looked uncertain and overwhelming. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14 becomes the reassurance, awakening peace inside us. You calmed Moses when fear surrounded him. You led him step by step when there was no visible path. You showed him that stillness is strength. You taught him that your peace is not fragile. You proved that your presence is enough for every beginning. Lord, we recall the story of Hannah, who cried at the temple overwhelmed with sorrow, yet left with a heart transformed because she poured everything before you in the quiet morning of her grief. In her deep anguish, Hannah prayed to the Lord, weeping bitterly. 1 Samuel 1:10 becomes the reminder that your peace reaches the deepest places of our heart. You restored her when nothing else could. You gave her calm before the miracle came. You touched wounds words couldn't reach. You met her in her honesty. You answered her with peace before promise. Lord, we remember Elijah weary under the broom tree, whose mind was exhausted and whose heart felt defeated, until your gentle whisper breathed new strength into him. And after the fire came a gentle whisper. 1 Kings 19:12 reveals how peace comes not through noise, but through presence. You did not shout at Elijah. You did not condemn his exhaustion. You spoke softly to revive him. You breathed rest into the places that felt empty. You restored him one quiet moment at a time. Lord, we think of David, surrounded by chaos and pursued by enemies, yet learning again and again that peace was not the absence of danger, but the presence of God Himself. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Psalm 23:1 becomes the anchor settling our soul. You led David beside still waters, even when his life felt turbulent. You calmed him in caves where fear whispered loudly. You strengthened him when battles grew heavy. You reminded him that he was never alone. You shaped him through peace that surpassed the moment. Lord, we think of Mary, who carried unexplainable destiny, yet found stillness in surrender, letting peace settle into her heart, even when life shifted without warning. Let it be unto me according to your word. Luke 1:38 becomes the surrender, breathing calm into our morning. You steadied her when uncertainty surrounded her. You held her through the weight of divine responsibility. You empowered her with quiet strength. You reminded us through her story that peace is birthed in surrender. You showed us that trust is the doorway to calm. Lord, we remember Daniel, who prayed 3 times a day, knowing that peace comes not from control, but from communion. Knowing that even lions lose their power when the heart is anchored in you. My God sent His angel, and He shut the lions' mouths. Daniel 6:22 becomes the declaration calming our fears. You protected Daniel in the darkness. You brought peace to him underground. You silenced threats that wanted to devour him. You proved that no environment is stronger than your presence. You taught us that peace follows consistency in prayer. Lord, we reflect on Jesus Himself, who stood in the raging storm while His disciples panicked, yet spoke one sentence that changed the entire atmosphere. Peace, be still. Mark 4:39 becomes the authority breathing into our morning. You calm storms of the mind just as easily as storms on the water. You quiet waves that crash inside the heart. You silence winds blowing through anxious thoughts. You steady what feels unstable. You bring peace that transforms the whole environment. Lord, before we continue, pause now and let this truth settle deeply. Peace is not something you chase. Peace is someone who has already arrived. If you feel God speaking peace into your morning, declare it in the comments. Lord, calm my mind and my heart today. Tell us, what storm are you facing, and where do you need God's peace most? Let us pray for you, stand with you, and walk with you through this. Stay with us daily. Begin every morning with God's peace. Lord, as this morning stretches into fullness, we ask you to calm every anxious thought that tries to rise, replacing fear with clarity, uncertainty with trust, and worry with confidence in your presence. You will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you. Isaiah 26:3 becomes the shield protecting our inner world. You steady the thoughts that run too fast. You quiet imaginations that spiral into fear. You break cycles of mental pressure. You restore peace that returns us to balance. You anchor our thoughts in truth. Lord, fill our emotions with stability so that they are not tossed by mood swings, unexpected messages, or subtle pressures, but held securely by your unchanging peace. The peace of God will guard your hearts. Philippians 4:7 becomes the protection around our feelings. You calm restlessness before it grows. You soothe tension we cannot explain. You lift heaviness without us asking. You bring warmth back into cold places. You strengthen our emotional resilience with grace. Lord, guard our home this morning with a covering so powerful that no atmosphere of fear, conflict, or heaviness can rest within its walls, because your presence makes every room a sanctuary. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Joshua 24:15 becomes the declaration claiming our space. You remove hidden unrest from corners we overlook. You breathe peace into the walls themselves. You dismiss every lingering tension. You silence spiritual noise that tries to enter. You restore harmony where anxiety once lived. Lord, stabilize our spirit with the kind of peace that is not shaken by news, not disrupted by people, and not disturbed by unexpected challenges, because the peace you give is unbreakable. My peace I give to you, not as the world gives. John 14:27 becomes the truth strengthening our heart. You guard our soul where fear tries to whisper. You reinforce the foundation beneath us. You quiet the storms inside before they form. You strengthen us with holy stillness. You surround our spirit with unshakable calm. Lord, let your peace guide our steps as we move through this day, so that every decision is led by calmness, every response shaped by wisdom, and every step taken in steady confidence. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. Psalm 37:23 becomes the guidance directing our actions. You lead us away from rushed choices. You anchor us in patience. You remind us that peace is discernment. You help us recognize your voice in stillness. You allow calmness to lead us toward the right path. Lord, breathe peace into our relationships so that conversations become softer, understanding grows deeper, and unity becomes stronger, even in places where tension once lived. Blessed are the peacemakers, Matthew 5:9, becomes the identity shaping our interactions. You slow our reactions when emotions rise. You help us listen with compassion. You remove assumptions that create conflict. You heal quiet wounds beneath the surface. You make peace the language of our relationships. Lord, saturate our home with blessings that bring rest, calm, and emotional safety to every person living or entering there, establishing an atmosphere where worry is replaced with trust and stress is replaced with stillness. The Lord bless you and keep you. Numbers 6:24 becomes the covering over our family. You bring order where there is chaos. You bring warmth where there is coldness. You bring restoration where there is brokenness. You bring harmony where there is distance. You bring peace where there was turmoil. Lord, as we close this first part of our prayer, let your peace settle over our mind like morning dew over quiet fields, resting gently, deeply, and completely. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10 becomes the whisper guiding our heart. You calm us beyond understanding. You remind us of who you are. You recenter everything that drifted. You return our heart to rest. You prepare us to walk in peace that lasts all day. Lord, as we continue this morning prayer in your presence, we thank you for the calm that slowly begins to settle over our thoughts, reminding us that true peace is not found in the absence of problems, but in the nearness of your Spirit. The Lord is near to all who call on him. Psalm 145:18 becomes the comfort soothing our soul. You draw us out of yesterday's weight. You separate us from last night's worries. You lift the burden of what we cannot fix. You whisper reassurance into our quiet places. You cover us gently with peace that holds steady. Lord, take control of our thoughts today and shape them with wisdom, clarity, and truth, so that our mind does not wander into fear, drift into negativity, or spiral into confusion. Set your mind on things above, not on earthly things. Colossians 3:2 becomes the instruction guiding our focus. You realign thoughts that run too fast. You silence doubts before they grow louder. You protect our mind from anxious exaggeration. You calm internal storms that rise unexpectedly. You fill our thinking with holy order. Lord, calm our emotions so deeply that nothing external can dictate our inner world, reminding us that you alone are the keeper of our peace and the defender of our heart. Do not let your hearts be troubled. John 14:1 becomes the invitation into emotional stability. You soothe hidden worry we never voiced. You lift heaviness before it settles. You unwind tension in places we ignored. You soften fear as it tries to rise. You cover our heart with divine tenderness. Lord, guide every decision we make today with clarity so precise that confusion disappears, hesitation loosens its grip, and peace becomes the compass that leads us toward your will. Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. Psalm 119:105 becomes the direction shaping our steps. You show us where to walk with confidence. You reveal when to wait patiently. You help us discern choices with wisdom. You protect us from rushed decisions. You anchor our steps in your timing. Lord, refine our speech so that every word becomes gentle, patient, and full of peace, allowing our conversations to carry the fragrance of wisdom rather than the reaction of emotion. Let your gentleness be evident to all. Philippians 4:5 becomes the standard guarding our tongue. You slow our responses when frustration tries to rise. You help us speak life instead of tension. You release kindness through our tone. You give us clarity when emotions cloud communication. You make our words reflect your heart. Lord, protect our home with a covering of serenity so deep that no atmosphere of unrest can remain, no heaviness can linger, and no fear can influence the environment. You have blessed. My people will live in peaceful dwelling places. Isaiah 32:18 becomes the decree over our household. You cleanse the air with your presence. You silence spiritual noise attempting to enter. You bring stillness into every room. You fill the walls themselves with peace. You establish our home as a refuge of calm. Lord, bless the work of our hands with efficiency and peace, so that nothing feels overwhelming, nothing becomes chaotic, and nothing drains the energy you have provided for today. Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans. Proverbs 16:3 becomes the empowerment behind our responsibilities. You simplify what feels complicated. You organize what feels scattered. You strengthen our focus when it begins to drift. You give insight where solutions are unclear. You make our work flow with grace. Lord, guard every step we take today, with your divine protection so complete that danger cannot approach, anxiety cannot follow, and fear cannot accompany us into any environment. He will guard your going out and your coming in. Psalm 121:8 becomes the shield surrounding our movements. You protect us from unseen threats. You secure our timing in every direction. You remove us from harmful paths. You guide us through moments we didn't expect. You keep our journey under heavenly supervision. Lord, strengthen our faith this morning so that we trust your presence more than our feelings, your promises more than our fears, and your voice more than our circumstances. We walk by faith, not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5:7 becomes the stabilizer of our spirit. You enlarge our capacity to believe. You strengthen trust in moments of uncertainty. You dissolve panic before it grows. You remind us that you are working even when we cannot see. You anchor our soul in unwavering confidence. Lord, shift our expectations so that we begin this day anticipating peace, expecting calmness, and believing that you will keep us steady no matter what tries to rise against us. My hope comes from him. Psalm 62:5 becomes the mindset shaping our morning. You replace dread with anticipation. You change fear into expectation. You adjust our perspective toward blessing. You open our heart to quiet miracles. You prepare us to see your goodness clearly. Lord, bless our relationships today with unity, understanding, and gentle communication, so that peace flows naturally between us and everyone we encounter. If it is possible, live at peace with everyone. Romans 12:18 becomes the guidance shaping our interactions. You heal misunderstandings before they form. You soften reactions that could create tension. You bring clarity to conversations needing wisdom. You strengthen connection through kindness. You guard relationships with compassion. Lord, protect our physical health this morning with vitality, endurance, and strength, ensuring that no sickness, fatigue, or weakness touches the body you created and care for. The Lord sustains them on their sickbed. Psalm 41:3 becomes the covering over our physical being. You refresh our energy from within. You stabilize anything that feels unbalanced. You reinforce immunity with divine strength. You remove pain trying to rise. You restore wholeness throughout our body. Lord, secure our inner peace with a shield so strong that external chaos cannot penetrate it, internal fear cannot shift it, and unexpected news cannot remove it. The peace of God will guard your hearts and minds. Philippians 4:7 becomes the fortress surrounding our spirit. You still the noise inside us. You quiet our breath when anxiety rises. You hold our heart steady in moments of tension. You bring clarity where confusion entered. You anchor our emotions in holy calm. Lord, open our eyes to divine opportunities aligned with your purpose, so that we do not overlook blessings hidden in ordinary moments or wisdom disguised in daily routines. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Isaiah 43:19 becomes the awakening stirring our awareness. You highlight the encounters meant to bless us. You guide us toward purposeful conversations. You show us doors you are quietly opening. You inspire courage to step into new places. You align us with peace-filled moments of favor. Lord, protect our time today from distraction, exhaustion, or waste, giving us the discipline to use each moment with intention, peace, and clarity as we move through the hours you have gifted. Teach us to number our days. Psalm 90:12 becomes the wisdom shaping our schedule. You help us avoid tasks that drain. You guide us toward what brings fruit. You balance our workload with grace. You guard our hours from emotional turbulence. You help us steward time with spiritual maturity. Lord, shape our character this morning with humility, gentleness, and patience, so that our actions reflect the peace we are praying for, and our presence brings calm into every space we enter. Be completely humble and gentle. Ephesians 4:2 becomes the transformation forming within us. You refine the attitudes we overlook. You strengthen the virtues we need most. You stretch us into emotional maturity. You help us respond like Christ in difficult moments. You mold our heart with peaceful integrity. Lord, surround this entire day with a covering of divine peace, so complete that no conflict prospers, no chaos succeeds, and no disturbance breaks through the atmosphere you have placed upon us. The Lord blesses his people with peace. Psalm 29:11 becomes the declaration over our morning. You shield us from tension waiting ahead. You defend us from unrest forming silently. You cover every moment with calm. You protect every step with serenity. You hold our day firmly in your peace-filled hands. Lord, as we enter this new portion of our morning prayer, we ask you to continue releasing peace that settles deeply into the places where fear tries to rise, ensuring that our spirit stays anchored in the assurance of who you are. God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Psalm 46:1 becomes the declaration steadying our inner world. You quiet the tremors of uncertainty within us. You lift the heaviness we cannot articulate. You replace inner shaking with holy stillness. You strengthen the atmosphere inside our soul. You build a foundation strong enough to withstand anything ahead. Lord, calm the noise around us so that distractions, interruptions, and external pressures lose their influence, allowing our heart to remain in a state of continued rest throughout the day. In quietness and trust is your strength. Isaiah 30:15 becomes the reminder, reshaping our posture. You silence the unnecessary voices demanding attention. You reduce the volume of worry that creeps into our thoughts. You protect our senses from overload. You bring clarity where chaos tries to crowd in. You keep our mind settled beneath your covering. Lord, surround our heart with emotional balance, so steady that even unexpected news cannot shake our peace, because our confidence rests in your sovereignty rather than in changing circumstances. Cast all your anxiety on him, because he cares for you. 1 Peter 5:7 becomes the release that softens our tension. You carry what is too heavy for us. You absorb fear before it locks into our emotions. You redirect our attention toward your care. You dismantle anxiety from its roots. You restore calmness that settles deeply. Lord, guide our intentions today with purity and clarity, so that everything we set out to do is shaped by peace, led by wisdom, and aligned with the purpose you designed for us. Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts. Colossians 3:15 becomes the authority directing our motives. You remove selfish aims that lead to stress. You refine hidden desires that conflict with harmony. You align our ambitions with peace-filled direction. You help us choose what nurtures our spirit. You lead us into emotionally healthy decisions. Lord, protect the atmosphere of our home from stress, tension, and spiritual intrusion, allowing only the presence of peace, rest, and unity to dwell within its walls. The Lord will watch over your coming and going. Psalm 121:8 becomes the promise, securing our environment. You settle calmness in every room. You release heaviness that tried to linger. You place angels around every corner. You make our home a refuge of safety. You ensure peace remains the ruling atmosphere. Lord, guard our mind from overthinking, fear-based assumptions, and imagined scenarios that steal energy, replacing them with thoughts anchored in truth, clarity, and holy confidence. Take every thought captive to make it obedient to Christ. 2 Corinthians 10:5 becomes the discipline guiding our mental world. You interrupt negative patterns before they expand. You bring order to spiraling thoughts. You break the cycle of anxious imagination. You anchor our mind in spiritual stability. You restore inner stillness with your word. Lord, soften our reactions today so that we respond to challenges not from emotion, but from peace, letting patience guide our words and gentleness shape our actions. A gentle answer turns away wrath. Proverbs 15:1 becomes the wisdom influencing our interactions. You help us pause when frustration arises. You redirect impulses that could create conflict. You teach us to speak with composure. You make peace our first response. You transform our behavior with grace. Lord, protect us from emotional exhaustion by keeping our spirit refreshed, our body strengthened, and our heart sustained by the constant flow of your peace. He restores my soul. Psalm 23:3 becomes the promise renewing us throughout the day. You refill the places growing weary. You stabilize energy slipping away. You lift emotional fatigue from our shoulders. You give rest that revives us fully. You empower us to move with renewed strength. Lord, keep our priorities aligned so we do not chase what drains us or neglect what nourishes us, allowing peace to guide our choices and structure our day with divine order. Seek first the kingdom of God. Matthew 6:33 becomes the filter organizing our life. You help us recognize what truly matters. You shift our focus from distraction to purpose. You release unnecessary pressures from our schedule. You redefine productivity with spiritual wisdom. You ensure we walk in what is meaningful. Lord, let your peace guard our voice, so that every word we speak carries intention, softness, and wisdom, preventing miscommunication and nurturing healthy interactions. Let your conversation be always full of grace. Colossians 4:6 becomes the principle shaping our speech. You help us avoid words spoken in haste. You fill our tone with patience. You help us articulate clearly without tension. You close the door to unnecessary conflict. You make our voice a vessel of calm. Lord, cover the relationships closest to us with harmony, understanding, and forgiveness, so that nothing disrupts the unity you have designed for our lives. Love covers a multitude of sins. 1 Peter 4:8 becomes the force strengthening our bonds. You dissolve tension before it escalates. You heal misunderstandings quietly. You deepen trust through compassion. You remove emotional barriers in silence. You build peaceful connections that last. Lord, bless our responsibilities with peace-driven efficiency so that tasks feel manageable, pressure becomes lighter, and our workflow flows smoothly with divine ease. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. Proverbs 3:6 becomes the guidance behind our productivity. You remove confusion from our assignments. You give clarity to our next steps. You prevent overwhelm from taking root. You strengthen our focus with calmness. You let peace organize every effort. Lord, heal our inner world from old fears, emotional patterns, or past wounds that attempt to rise again during the day, restoring peace in the deepest parts of our heart. He heals the broken-hearted. Psalm 47:3 becomes the truth repairing our spirit. You touch memories that still ache. You dissolve fear anchored in past experiences. You bring closure to unhealed places. You lift burdens we forgot we carried. You restore emotional wholeness gracefully. Lord, protect our spirit from comparison, insecurity, and pressure by drawing us close enough to you that we remember our worth. Identity and value are rooted in divine truth. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. Psalm 39:14 becomes the affirmation strengthening our self-image. You dissolve insecurities developed over time. You calm the desire to perform for approval. You restore contentment in who we are. You breathe peace into our identity. You make confidence flow quietly from within. Lord, keep our heart from irritation. impatience, or frustration that tries to surface throughout the day, strengthening us to remain calm even in situations that test our spirit. The fruit of the Spirit is patience, Galatians 5:22, becomes the virtue settling into our responses. You silence frustration before it grows. You help us move slowly when pressured. You give grace when expectations shift. You help us maintain inner control. You keep peace as our foundation. Lord, release peace into every place we step into today, so that our presence becomes a carrier of calmness, and the atmosphere around us shifts, because you dwell within us. Blessed are the peacemakers, Matthew 5:9, becomes the calling we carry with each step. You expand peace wherever we go. You soften environments filled with tension. You brighten spaces weighed down by heaviness. You influence others through calmness. You turn us into instruments of serenity. Lord, keep our spirit lifted above negativity, discouragement, or emotional heaviness, so that nothing in the environment can overshadow the peace you planted within us this morning. The joy of the Lord is your strength. Nehemiah 8:10 becomes the force sustaining our endurance. You brighten our thoughts when they dim. You uplift our spirit when it sinks. You reinforce hope in moments of uncertainty. You strengthen us from within. You guard our peace with divine joy. Lord, seal this portion of our prayer with clarity, calmness, and spiritual strength, so that peace follows us into every task, conversation, and moment that this day will hold. You crown the year with your goodness. Psalm 65:11 becomes the blessing covering our morning. You secure peace on every side. You guide our heart into rest. You protect our mind with truth. You hold our emotions with grace. You prepare us for a day shaped entirely by your peace. Lord, as we enter this new section of prayer, we ask you to continue expanding the peace you have begun in us, so that our heart grows steadier, our mind becomes clearer, and our spirit settles into deep rest that carries us through the entire day. He will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast. Isaiah 26:3 becomes the truth anchoring our focus. You sustain us when our thoughts begin to drift. You protect us from the pull of restlessness. You lift us into stability even when pressures try to weigh us down. You surround us with peace, strong enough to transform everything internal. You keep us grounded in your presence. Lord, remove every hidden worry trying to wake up with us, ensuring that old fears, lingering doubts, or pressures from yesterday do not steal the peace you are restoring in this very moment. Do not be anxious about anything. Philippians 4:6 becomes the command dissolving our tension. You hold our concerns before they multiply. You quiet emotional noise before it becomes overwhelming. You calm fears before they settle in our chest. You redirect our attention toward trust. You make room for stillness to expand within us. Lord, cleanse our inner atmosphere from emotional clutter, internal noise, and mental heaviness, so that our spirit remains open, clear, and receptive to your direction throughout this day. Create in me a clean heart, O God. Psalm 51:10 becomes the purification shaping our morning. You remove residue from old disappointments. You wash away traces of stress. You lift patterns of negativity trying to return. You free our heart from contamination. You clear space for peace to flourish. Lord, let your peace touch places inside us. We don't talk about unspoken frustrations, quietly carried burdens, and silent worries stored behind our smile, so that nothing hidden can disturb the serenity you are establishing. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Psalm 139:23 becomes the invitation to healing. You reveal what needs release. You soften what has hardened over time. You soothe what has been aching in silence. You restore what felt forgotten. You heal what was hidden beneath the surface. Lord, strengthen our emotional resilience so that minor irritations do not escalate, unexpected messages do not shake us, and stressful encounters do not disrupt the calm you are building. The Lord gives strength to his people. Psalm 29:11 becomes the empowerment strengthening our inner posture. You steady us before pressure rises. You equip us to handle challenges with composure. You teach us to breathe before reacting. You help us choose peace over impulse. You anchor our emotions in maturity. Lord, bring harmony into our relationships today, so that communication becomes gentle, understanding deepens, and tension dissolves before it forms, allowing peace to be the foundation of every interaction. If it is possible, live at peace with everyone. Romans 12:18 becomes the guidance shaping our connections. You soften words that could wound. You strengthen patience in moments of misunderstanding. You restore unity where distance has grown. You increase compassion in difficult conversations. You bless every relationship with calmness. Lord, guide our decisions with clarity, so that every choice aligns with your wisdom and every step is taken with confidence, preventing confusion from stealing our peace. Your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, "This is the way, walk in it." Isaiah 30:21 becomes the assurance directing our path. You instruct us when we feel uncertain. You highlight what deserves our attention. You warn us gently when we drift. You illuminate the safest route forward. You lead us into choices filled with peace. Lord, steady our breathing and quiet our nervous system so deeply that the physical signs of stress lose their power, and our body responds to the stillness you are pouring into our spirit. Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. Psalm 37:7 becomes the invitation calming our body. You slow the racing heartbeat. You relax the tightened muscles. You soothe the tension we carry unknowingly. You reduce the physical signs of worry. You make peace felt physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Lord, protect us from mental exhaustion by renewing our energy, refreshing our mind, and preventing burnout from overshadowing the peace you are establishing in us. He renews our strength. Isaiah 40:31 becomes the promise restoring our stamina. You replenish what was drained. You revive creativity and clarity. You restore focus lost through overwhelm. You give new strength for the tasks ahead. You energize us with peaceful endurance. Lord, bless our environment so that wherever we go today, home, work, errands, responsibilities, peace follows us like a shield and rests upon every space we step into. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me. Psalm 23:6 becomes the declaration covering our surroundings. You shift atmospheres before we arrive. You remove tension waiting for us. You soften stress in places that feel heavy. You brighten environments darkened by worry. You make our presence carry the fragrance of your peace. Lord, guard our spirit from the pressure to rush, helping us move through this day with steadiness, patience, and intention, rather than anxiety-driven speed. In returning and rest, you shall be saved. Isaiah 30:15 becomes the rhythm guiding our pace. You slow us when we attempt too much. You stop us from moving without clarity. You redirect us when we drift from peace. You help us maintain spiritual alignment. You let calmness set the pace of our day. Lord, guide our interactions so that even difficult conversations are handled with grace, patience, and emotional control, ensuring that peace governs our tone and our responses. A soft answer turns away wrath. Proverbs 15:1 becomes the principle moderating our communication. You help us speak calmly under pressure. You keep our tone gentle when frustration rises. You give us wisdom when words feel difficult. You prevent escalation before it begins. You turn conflict into opportunities for peace. Lord, lift every unseen spiritual weight, pressing against our mind or emotions, ensuring that nothing invisible steals peace or disrupts the calm we are cultivating in your presence. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal but mighty through God. 2 Corinthians 10:4 becomes the reminder of spiritual strength. You break every hidden influence, draining our peace. You remove heaviness, lingering without explanation. You silence spiritual disturbances we did not perceive. You cut off atmospheres not sent by you. You guard our inner world with heavenly protection. Lord, bless our communication today so that our presence becomes a source of warmth, our words release calmness, and our interactions contribute to peace rather than strain. Let your words be always full of grace. Colossians 4:6 becomes the standard forming our dialogue. You help us listen with patience. You guide our conversations with kindness. You strengthen our ability to remain calm. You help us respond with clarity. You make peace visible through every word. Lord, keep our heart humble and willing to choose peace, even when pride tries to speak, reminding us that true strength is found in quietness, gentleness, and self-control. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Matthew 5:5 becomes the inspiration shaping our attitude. You soften us where we grew rigid. You humble us where ego interfered. You strengthen us where emotions weakened us. You mature us in moments of challenge. You mature us in moments of challenge. You mold our character with peaceful endurance. Lord, bring supernatural order to our schedule so that nothing overwhelms us, nothing pulls us in conflicting directions, and nothing interrupts the balance you are building into this day. The Lord directs the steps of the righteous. Psalm 37:23 becomes the guidance shaping our time. You counsel distractions before they appear. You streamline what felt chaotic. You organize responsibilities with grace. You give clarity to priorities needing attention. You bring peaceful structure into every hour. Lord, release the peace that surpasses understanding over our entire being, mind, heart, body, and spirit, establishing harmony that nothing external can break, disturb, or diminish. The peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, Philippians 4:7, becomes the covering, sealing our morning. You guard our soul from instability. You strengthen our earned clarity. You steady our emotions with holy rest. You fill our body with calmness. You secure our spirit in the center of your peace. Lord, wrap this part of our prayer in your gentle presence, so that everything ahead begins under the influence of your calmness, leaving no room for fear, tension, or unrest to enter our day. The Lord give you peace at all times and in every way. 2 Thessalonians 3:16 becomes the blessing resting upon us. You seal this moment with serenity. You continue calming deeper layers of our heart. You prepare us for the peace still unfolding. You draw us into rest with every breath. You lead us softly into the next portion of prayer. Lord, as we enter this next part of our morning prayer, let your peace descend even deeper, reaching the places inside us that have remained tense or unsettled, and filling them with your gentle rest. He himself is our peace. Ephesians 2:1 becomes the truth, reminding us that peace is not a feeling but a person. You draw us close to your heart where calmness lives. You teach us to breathe in alignment with your stillness. You soften the sharp edges of our emotions. You steady every trembling thought. You let peace take root in ways that transform us. Lord, let your peace guide our thoughts so that we refuse to entertain ideas that drain us, trigger us, or discourage us, choosing instead to dwell on what strengthens our spirit. Think on things that are true, noble, right, pure, lovely, and praiseworthy. Philippians 4:8 becomes the filter shaping our inner world. You help us reject negativity before it grows. You redirect our thinking when it shifts toward fear. You guard our mind from toxic patterns. You expand our awareness of truth. You fill us with thoughts that nurture peace. Lord, release your calmness into our surroundings, so deeply that even places that usually feel stressful begin to carry an atmosphere of rest, because your presence shifts environments the moment we enter them. My presence will go with you, and I will give you rest. Exodus 33:14 becomes the promise stabilizing our day. You make every room feel safer. You reduce the noise that overwhelms us. You change tension into comfort. You make familiar spaces feel renewed. You turn ordinary places into peaceful sanctuaries. Lord, protect our emotions from being manipulated by external situations, unexpected messages, or the moods of others, reminding us that emotional stability flows from trusting you above everything. The righteous will not be shaken. Psalm 112:6 becomes the declaration securing our heart. You guard our emotions from sudden changes. You strengthen our responses under pressure. You help us remain consistent when others are unpredictable. You keep us grounded in truth, not feelings. You stabilize our heart with divine strength. Lord, guide us to move through this day with patience, so that we do not rush decisions, react impulsively, or allow urgency to steal our inner calm, but remain aligned with the pace of your Spirit. Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. Psalm 37:7 becomes the rhythm governing our actions. You slow our steps when anxiety tries to push us. You help us resist the pressure to hurry. You keep our heart at peace while waiting. You teach us to trust timing rather than force outcomes. You help patience become our strength. Lord, strengthen our ability to release control, knowing that peace increases when we surrender rather than strive, and when we trust rather than attempt to manage everything on our own. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Proverbs 3:5 becomes the anchor, freeing us from internal pressure. You remove the urge to overthink the future. You silence the need to figure out every detail. You help us release burdens we cannot carry. You lift the weight of unrealistic expectations. You guide us gently into surrender. Lord, guard our spirit from reacting emotionally to situations that do not require our energy, wisdom, or attention, reminding us that peace is preserved when we choose silence and restraint. Be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. James 1:19 becomes the wisdom moderating our responses. You help us pause before reacting. You give us clarity before speaking. You preserve peace when conflict attempts to rise. You help us walk away from unnecessary battles. You strengthen self-control in moments of pressure. Lord, bring peace to our responsibilities by simplifying what feels overwhelming, organizing what feels scattered, and giving direction where we feel uncertain. Commit your work to the Lord, and your plans will be established. Proverbs 16:3 becomes the empowerment behind our tasks. You reduce workload stress before it forms. You bring clarity to unfinished matters. You give wisdom to manage time with grace. You remove confusion from important assignments. You make everything flow in peaceful order. Lord, quiet the voice of fear that rises in certain moments, reminding us that you are greater than anything we face, and that nothing ahead can overpower the peace you have given us. Do not fear, for I am with you. Isaiah 41:10 becomes the assurance, crushing our anxieties. You silence imagined threats. You calm the thought patterns that escalate too quickly. You remove fear disguised as caution. You replace worry with confidence. You fortify our heart with holy courage. Lord, bring healing to emotional patterns that cause distress, worry, or tension, breaking cycles that have been operating quietly in the background of our mind. I will restore you to health and heal your wounds. Jeremiah 30:17 becomes the promise renewing our inner world. You uproot old insecurities that no longer belong. You dissolve patterns formed through past hurts. You rewire responses shaped by fear. You restore emotional balance where instability existed. You bring deep healing where hidden pain lived. Lord, bless our inner dialogue so that the voice we hear within speaks peace, faith, and truth instead of discouragement, self-criticism, or emotional exhaustion. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Proverbs 18:21 becomes the awareness shaping our self-talk. You silence internal negativity. You transform harsh inner narratives. You replace discouraging thoughts with hope. You strengthen our sense of worth. You help us speak life over ourselves. Lord, protect our boundaries today so that we do not absorb the stress of others, carry emotional loads that are not ours, or allow outside tension to disturb the peace you established within us. Above all else, guard your heart. Proverbs 4:23 becomes the shield protecting our inner world. You help us recognize emotional danger quickly. You give us the strength to say no when needed. You prevent draining connections from overwhelming us. You help us remain compassionate without losing ourselves. You keep peace undisturbed inside our spirit. Lord, guide us through potential moments of conflict with calmness, so that we choose understanding over reaction, clarity over assumption, peace over pride. Blessed are the peacemakers, Matthew 5:9, becomes the calling shaping our choices. You dissolve tension before it grows. You redirect conversations toward gentleness. You help us explain ourselves without harshness. You prevent misunderstanding from escalating. You help us remain grounded in serenity. Lord, let your peace govern our morning and extend into the hours ahead, shaping every interaction, decision, and task with holy calm. Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts. Colossians 3:15 becomes the authority over our day. You regulate our emotions with grace. You steady our thoughts with truth. You guide our steps with clarity. You surround our activities with tranquility. You keep us aligned with your presence. Lord, bless our physical body with strength, health, and stability so that fatigue, tension, or discomfort do not disturb the peace you are cultivating within us. He gives strength to the weary. Isaiah 40:29 becomes the promise refreshing our body. You relax areas holding stress. You release tension stored overnight. You renew our physical capacity to move peacefully. You guard our energy from unnecessary depletion. You keep us strengthened with heavenly vitality. Lord, saturate our environment with your presence so strongly that anything not aligned with your peace loses influence immediately, making our home, workplace, and every location feel spiritually clean. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom, 2 Corinthians 3:17, becomes the covering shifting the atmosphere. You remove spiritual heaviness unnoticed before. You brighten spaces darkened by tension. You clear emotional residue left by others. You fill the air with stillness. You transform environments with your peace. Lord, help us carry peace like a mantle over our shoulders, reminding us that we are called to walk in calmness, even when the world is restless, reflecting the nature of Christ everywhere we go. Let your gentleness be evident to all. Philippians 4:5 becomes the identity we embody. You help us radiate serenity. You make peace visible in our presence. You allow our countenance to soften others. You help us move gracefully through the day. You make us examples of holy rest. Lord, seal this portion of prayer with deep peace, letting it linger in our thoughts, settle into our emotions, and become the atmosphere we carry into the next moment of our day. The Lord gives strength to his people. The Lord blesses his people with peace. Psalm 29:11 becomes the blessing resting upon us. You strengthen us what lies ahead. You center our heart again in your presence. You quiet every remaining worry. You expand calmness into deeper layers. You prepare us for the next part of this prayer journey, Lord. As we enter this new section of our morning prayer, let your peace continue flowing through every part of our heart, removing the last remnants of tension and establishing a calmness so deep that nothing today can disturb it. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. John 14:27 becomes the assurance, strengthening our spirit. You still the unseen waves inside us. You soften the weight pressing on our chest. You quiet the thoughts racing through our mind. You ease anxieties we cannot name. You stabilize our entire inner world with your presence. Lord, let your peace settle into our breathing, so that each inhale fills us with rest, and each exhale releases pressure, creating a steady rhythm that reminds us we are safe in your hands. In him we live and move and have our being. Acts 17:28 becomes the truth grounding our body. You calm the nervous system that has been alert for too long. You relax the tension stored in our muscles. You restore balance where stress has disrupted harmony. You strengthen us with gentle rest. You make peace physically felt. Lord, protect our thoughts from drifting into fear throughout the day, reminding us that worry does not prepare us for the future, but instead steals the peace you already gave. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Joshua 1:9 becomes the shield around our mind. You interrupt anxious imaginations before they form. You remove the desire to anticipate negative outcomes. You correct thinking patterns shaped by fear. You strengthen hope within us. You teach our mind to trust instead of tremble. Lord, guard our emotions with maturity and strength, so that our reactions remain steady and wise, even when circumstances grow unpredictable or overwhelming. The Lord is close to the broken-hearted. Psalm 34:18 becomes the comfort, securing our heart. You stabilize feelings that fluctuate. You quiet emotional heaviness, rising without reason. You help us respond instead of react. You replace sensitivity with strength. You root our emotions in holy calm. Lord, guide our actions today, so that everything we do flows from a peaceful spirit, allowing our decisions to be thoughtful, our timing to be patient, and our steps to be directed by divine wisdom. The steps of a righteous person are ordered by the Lord. Psalm 37:23 becomes the direction shaping our day. You align our path with clarity. You prevent rushed choices that create regret. You show us when to move and when to wait. You help us choose what brings peace. You lead us toward the most fruitful outcomes. Lord, restore our energy with peace, so that we do not operate from exhaustion, frustration, or irritation, but from a place of rest that reflects your strength working within us. He restores my soul. Psalm 23:3 becomes the renewal entering our being. You refill empty emotional reserves. You lift mental fatigue that still lingers. You strengthen our physical body with gentle vitality. You refresh our spirit with inner quiet. You prepare us to handle the day with grace. Lord, cover our responsibilities with your order, so that nothing feels chaotic or overwhelming, and every task becomes manageable because it is approached with calmness instead of pressure. Let all things be done decently and in order. 1 Corinthians 14:40 becomes the organization guiding our day. You simplify what feels complex. You help us break large tasks into peaceful steps. You minimize stress before it begins. You provide clarity where uncertainty appears. You make order flow smoothly into our morning. Lord, guard us from absorbing the emotions of others, especially negativity, fear, or tension, so that we maintain spiritual equilibrium no matter who we encounter today. Do not be conformed to this world. Romans 12:2 becomes the anchor of emotional protection. You shield us from being influenced by unstable atmospheres. You help us stay grounded when others are overwhelmed. You prevent external pressures from altering our inner peace. You remind us that our stability comes from you. You make our presence stronger than the environment. Lord, place your peace on our conversations today so that our words build rather than break, soothe rather than stress, and guide rather than confuse those who interact with us. Let your speech always be gracious. Colossians 4:6 becomes the pattern shaping our dialogue. You calm our tone when irritation rises. You fill our responses with kindness. You help us choose words that nourish. You give us clarity when addressing sensitive matters. You allow peace to flow through our communication. Lord, protect our spiritual sensitivity so that we remain aware of your presence, alert to your guidance, and responsive to your voice, allowing peace to lead us into every decision. My sheep listen to my voice, John 10:27, becomes the awareness heightening our spirit. You teach us to recognize your whispers. You help us turn away from internal noise. You strengthen our ability to discern spiritual truth. You direct our heart with gentle nudges. You keep us aligned with your will. Lord, lift the heaviness that visits us in quiet moments, reminding us that peace is not temporary, but a continuous flow for those who rest in you. Cast your burden upon the Lord, and he will sustain you. Psalm 55:22 becomes the release freeing our soul. You lift burdens we accepted unknowingly. You remove emotional pressure we carried silently. You free us from internal expectations that drained us. You transform heaviness into lightness. You give rest to weary places inside. Lord, strengthen our discipline to return to peace quickly when we feel ourselves drifting into stress, creating a spiritual reflex that always redirects us back to calmness. Seek peace and pursue it. Psalm 34:14 becomes the practice shaping our responses. You remind us to pause before reacting. You guide us to breathe when tension grows. You help us choose prayer instead of frustration. You bring clarity back into our perspective. You lead us into immediate restoration. Lord, let your peace govern our internal dialogue so strongly that self-doubt, negative thoughts, or emotional instability cannot influence the direction of our heart. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Proverbs 23:7 becomes the awareness adjusting our mindset. You silence inner criticism that weakens us. You strengthen confidence in truth, not fear. You reshape beliefs that create anxiety. You remove the internal narratives that sabotage peace. You help us think with clarity and faith. Lord, protect our home from tension, conflict, or unrest, making it a sanctuary where peace remains constant and every person who enters feels the warmth of your presence. My people will live in peaceful dwelling places. Isaiah 32:18 becomes the covering safeguarding our environment. You bless every doorway with calm. You purify the air from emotional residue. You stabilize relationships within these walls. You create quietness that nurtures rest. You turn our home into a haven of peace. Lord, guard our heart from expectations that create disappointment, helping us release the pressure to control outcomes and embrace the peace that comes from trusting your timing above our own. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10 becomes the reminder, calming our spirit. You loosen anxiety connected to the unknown. You free us from the need to predict the future. You help us rest in surrender. You strengthen our faith in your plan. You bring peace to every waiting season. Lord, bless our morning with divine alignment so that everything ahead, appointments, conversations, responsibilities, and decisions falls into place effortlessly under the influence of your peace. The Lord makes firm the steps of the one who delights in him. Psalm 37:23 becomes the blessing ordering our path. You adjust timing supernaturally. You redirect us away from stress-filled situations, You open doors that support peace. You close doors that would disturb our calm. You synchronize the day with heaven's rhythm. Lord, expand our awareness of your presence so that even simple moments, walking, working, resting, or thinking, are filled with quiet confidence that you are near, guiding us gently in every detail. The Lord is near to all who call upon him. Psalm 145:18 becomes the truth deepening our sense of closeness. You let us feel peace like a soft blanket around our shoulders. You make your nearness undeniable. You calm us with subtle reminders of your love. You strengthen our heart with holy certainty. You make peace our natural atmosphere. Lord, seal this part of prayer with a calmness so profound that it becomes the foundation of our actions, the protector of our emotions, and the atmosphere of our entire morning. The Lord gives his people peace. Psalm 29:11 becomes the blessing resting upon us. You stabilize our inner world fully. You steady every part of our thinking. You calm every emotional wave. You center our heart in your goodness. You prepare us for the next portion of this peaceful journey. Lord, as we enter this new section of our morning prayer, allow your peace to deepen in us even further, touching the places untouched, unseen, and unspoken, filling every hidden corner of our heart with rest. Great peace have those who love your law. Psalm 119:65 becomes the truth establishing stability within us. You guide our thoughts toward stillness. You breathe calm into our inner landscape. You silence the tensions lingering under the surface. You create a sanctuary of quiet inside our spirit. You make peace our steady anchor. Lord, strengthen our mind so that it refuses to be dragged into old cycles of fear, anxiety, or overthinking, choosing instead to be renewed through your word and grounded in your presence. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Romans 12:2 becomes the renewal shaping our inner world. You guide us away from mental habits that undermine peace. You help us embrace clarity over confusion. You purify thoughts that overwhelm us. You draw us toward wisdom that steadies the heart. You replace pressure with divine reassurance. Lord, let your peace protect our emotions from instability, guarding us against the subtle shifts that can turn a peaceful morning into a restless day. The joy of the Lord is your strength. Nehemiah 8:10 becomes the power sustaining our emotional balance. You help us rise above sudden frustrations. You lift us when sadness attempts to settle. You steady us when irritation appears without warning. You remind us to breathe instead of break. You anchor us in holy joy. Lord, lead our steps through this day with a gentle rhythm, ensuring we move with purpose rather than pressure, and with calmness rather than urgency. He leads me beside still waters. Psalm 23:2 becomes the guidance structuring our pace. You prevent us from rushing ahead of your timing. You help us recognize when to wait and when to move. You restore peace to our sense of direction. You show us the beauty in unhurried moments. You teach us that calmness is strength. Lord, protect our heart from emotional overload by removing the desire to carry burdens that do not belong to us, freeing us from the weight of other people's fears, anxieties, and expectations. Cast your cares on the Lord and he will sustain you. Psalm 55:22 becomes the release strengthening our soul. You lift the heaviness we absorbed unknowingly. You free us from emotional entanglement. You help us prioritize inner peace over external pressure. You give us discernment to avoid unnecessary weight. You guard our heart with wisdom. Lord, let your peace shape our conversations so that every word reflects patience, clarity, and understanding, creating communication that builds rather than breaks. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Matthew 12:34 becomes the awareness purifying our speech. You help us speak from calmness rather than impulse. You give us discernment when conversations grow tense. You help us respond with grace, even when misunderstood. You allow our words to carry emotional healing. You turn communication into a vessel of peace. Lord, guard our morning decisions so that we make choices rooted in wisdom rather than emotion, guided by truth rather than fear, and shaped by your peace rather than pressure. Your word is a lamp to my feet. Psalm 11:19-105 becomes the clarity illuminating our path. You guide our reasoning with supernatural insight. You help us avoid decisions made in haste. You protect us from choices driven by anxiety. You bring calmness into every situation requiring thought. You align our decisions with peace. Lord, bless our relationships today so that atmosphere of unity is preserved, communication flows without tension, and peace remains the foundation of every interaction. If it is possible, live at peace with everyone. Romans 12:18 becomes the guidance shaping our connection. You reduce misunderstandings before they form. You soften hearts where distance has grown. You strengthen bonds through kindness. You heal subtle wounds created unintentionally. You build harmony in every relationship touched by your presence. Lord, release peace into our responsibilities so that we handle everything with confidence, clarity, and emotional steadiness, preventing overwhelm from pulling us out of alignment. Commit to the Lord whatever you do. Proverbs 16:3 becomes the empowerment behind our actions. You help us approach every task with focus. You remove the fear of falling short. You give calmness where pressure once lived. You increase our capacity to handle challenges with grace. You make our work flow effortlessly through your peace. Lord, quiet our internal dialogue so that the voice within us speaks faith, stability, and hope, rather than fear, criticism, or impatience. Building a mindset anchored in your truth. You will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you. Isaiah 26:3 becomes the reminder shaping our thinking. You silence internal negativity. You soften harsh self-judgments. You remove thoughts that sabotage peace. You replace discouragement with spiritual confidence. You help us speak gently to ourselves. Lord, guard us from spiritual weariness by filling our inner being with strength that flows from rest rather than striving, reminding us that peace is a weapon that protects our soul. In quietness and trust is your strength. Isaiah 30:15 becomes the foundation of spiritual resilience. You strengthen us where discouragement tried to settle. You restore calm when we feel spiritually drained. You refill areas emptied by emotional battles. You reinforce our spirit with quiet power. You keep us anchored in your presence. Lord, shelter our heart from the urge to react emotionally to pressure, disappointment, or irritation, teaching us to pause, breathe, and choose peace before responding. A gentle answer turns away wrath. Proverbs 15:1 becomes the wisdom shaping our behavior. You slow us when emotions rise. You replace anger with calmness. You help us interpret situations wisely. You guard us from reacting impulsively. You help us stay grounded in grace. Lord, bless our interactions with strangers, co-workers, and loved ones, ensuring that everywhere we go today, peace becomes part of the atmosphere we carry and part of the impression we leave behind. Blessed are the peacemakers. Matthew 5:9 becomes the calling we live out. You make us a light in heavy places. You help us walk gently through stressful environments. You let our presence soften tension. You help us represent Christ in quiet ways. You make peace our silent ministry. Lord, protect our inner calm from sudden emotional shifts triggered by unexpected news, challenges, or disappointments, surrounding us with stability even when situations change quickly. God is our refuge and strength. Psalm 46:1 becomes the anchor preventing emotional collapse. You strengthen us to adapt without fear. You give clarity in moments that could cause panic. You keep our hearts steady when circumstances shake. You reinforce peace, stronger than pressure. You help us remain spiritually composed. Lord, release wisdom into our day so that peace guides our conversations, choices, and priorities, giving us clarity we would not possess on our own. If any of you lacks wisdom, ask God. James 1:5 becomes the invitation shaping our decisions. You illuminate what we need to see. You whisper direction in uncertain moments. You help us choose what brings harmony. You refine our judgment to reflect your will. You allow wisdom and peace to work together in perfect unity. Lord, bless our home with serenity so thick that unrest has no place to enter, creating an environment where peace reigns, rest grows, and your presence is continually felt. My peace I give to you, John 14:27, becomes the covering resting over our house. You cleanse the atmosphere from unseen heaviness. You guard our rooms with supernatural calm. You protect conversations from tension. You fill our space with holy stillness. You make our home a refuge for the soul. Lord, cover our entire being, mind, heart, body, and spirit with unshakable peace that overflows into every area of our life, establishing stability that cannot be removed by people, circumstances, or unexpected events. The peace of God will guard your hearts and minds. Philippians 4:7 becomes the fortress surrounding us. You reinforce our inner strength. You keep rest flowing through our emotions. You protect our thinking from disruption. You make peace dominate every part of us. You establish calmness as our daily inheritance. Lord, seal this portion of prayer with a gentle covering that settles deeper than worry, lasts longer than fear, and withstands anything ahead, wrapping our entire morning in your unfailing peace. The Lord bless you with peace. Psalm 29:11 becomes the blessing resting upon us now. You secure the serenity you've built. You deepen the calm you've given. You prepare us for what comes next. You let peace remain unbroken. You lead us quietly into the next part of this prayer. Lord, as we enter this next portion of our morning prayer, expand your peace within us even more, filling the depths of our heart with calmness that steadies our breath, softens our spirit, and anchors our thoughts in your presence. You will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you. Isaiah 26:3 becomes the truth guiding our inner posture. You bring order to emotional chaos. You settle the internal shaking we cannot explain. You loosen the grip of unspoken stress. You calm the restless places within. You surround us with a peace that feels like a warm covering. Lord, protect our thoughts from drifting into fear or negativity by saturating our mind with your truth, allowing peace to become the dominant voice shaping our internal world. Set your mind on things above. Colossians 3:2 becomes the direction lifting our thinking higher. You replace fearful thoughts with faith-filled ones. You silence the imagination that runs toward worry. You remove internal tension forming in silence. You redirect our focus toward heaven. You align our thoughts with serenity. Lord, stabilize our emotions so deeply that they no longer rise and fall with circumstances, but instead remain anchored in the peace that comes from trusting you completely. Do not let your hearts be troubled. John 14:1 becomes the command, calming our emotional waves. You soothe the edges of anxiety. You lift the weight pressing against our chest. You soften the tension that catches us off guard. You restore balance when emotions try to overwhelm. You make calmness our emotional foundation. Lord, clear the path before us today so that nothing hidden, confusing, or stressful blocks our steps, ensuring that every direction we take is guided by your wisdom and protected by your peace. Your word is a lamp to my feet. Psalm 119:05 becomes the guidance, lighting our next steps. You illuminate the choices requiring discernment. You remove distractions disguised as opportunities. You strengthen our ability to choose well. You direct our path with clarity. You lead us with peaceful wisdom. Lord, bless our relationships with harmony, empathy, and understanding, making peace the foundation of every connection and the tone of every conversation we have throughout this day. If it is possible, live at peace with everyone. Romans 12:18 becomes the foundation shaping our interactions. You soften misunderstandings before they develop. You build bridges where gaps exist. You calm tension before it escalates. You inspire gentleness where frustration appears. You strengthen bonds with quiet compassion. Lord, let your peace govern our schedule today, so that we do not rush, overwhelm ourselves, or allow disorganization to steal our calm, but instead move intentionally with balance and clarity. Teach us to number our days. Psalm 90:12 becomes the wisdom ordering our time. You help us prioritize what matters. You guide us away from unproductive pressure. You break the grip of busyness on our spirit. You bring divine order into every hour. You let peace become part of our time management. Lord, calm the internal pressure we place on ourselves, replacing perfectionism, comparison, and unrealistic expectations with a gentle peace that reminds us that we are held by your grace. My grace is sufficient for you. 2 Corinthians 12:9 becomes the reassurance soothing our striving. You remove burdens we were never meant to carry. You slow the pace of self-imposed stress. You redefine expectations through compassion. You help us embrace rest instead of performance. You remind us that peace is found in surrender. Lord, protect our home from any atmosphere that disrupts peace, whether emotional, spiritual, or relational, making every room a sanctuary filled with calm and covered by your presence. My people will live in peaceful dwelling places. Isaiah 32:18 becomes the blessing guarding our household. You settle disagreements with quiet resolution. You cleanse the air from hidden heaviness. You remove tension lingering from past days. You restore unity between hearts. You make our home a place of rest and warmth. Lord, guide our physical body into a state of relaxation and balance, so that stress does not settle into our muscles, breathing, or posture, allowing our body to reflect the peace you're building inside. I will refresh the weary and satisfy the faint. Jeremiah 31:25 becomes the renewal strengthening us. You loosen tension stored from yesterday. You slow our breathing into calm rhythm. You soften the areas holding emotional weight. You bring rest to our nervous system. You strengthen our physical capacity with serenity. Lord, strengthen our boundaries today so that we protect our peace, avoid unnecessary conflict, and decline anything that drains our spirit or disrupts the calm you have established. Above all else, guard your heart. Proverbs 4:23 becomes the shield securing our inner world. You give us courage to say no when needed. You separate us from environments that stir anxiety. You help us avoid emotional entanglements. You teach us to remain grounded in peace. You empower us to choose what nurtures our soul. Lord, guide our communication so that every word we speak contributes to the peace you are building rather than disrupting it, allowing our voice to carry gentleness and clarity wherever we go. Let your speech be always full of grace. Colossians 4:6 becomes the standard shaping our conversations. You help us speak with patience. You guide our tone with wisdom. You soften our responses in pressure. You bring clarity into confusion. You make our words vessels of calm. Lord, uplift our heart so that discouragement, heaviness, or emotional fatigue does not steal the peace you planted at the beginning of this day, preserving our calm through every moment ahead. The Lord is the lifter of my head. Psalm 3:3 becomes the encouragement strengthening our spirit. You remove heaviness that tries to return. You refresh hope when it fades. You lift our spirit when it droops. You infuse us with strength beyond understanding. You restore joy gently into our heart. Lord, align our spirit with heaven's rhythm so that we walk through this day with ease, patience, and clarity, untouched by the noise or chaos of the world around us. Walk by the Spirit, Galatians 5:16, becomes the direction shaping our steps. You help us resist spiritual distraction. You center our heart in your presence. You strengthen our sensitivity to your guidance. You make our decisions flow from peace. You order every step with divine stability. Lord, bring supernatural clarity to our decisions so we do not waste energy on confusion or misdirection, but follow the path that carries the greatest peace and the clearest confirmation from you. God is not the author of confusion, but of peace. 1 Corinthians 14:33 becomes the truth governing our discernment. You remove indecision before it frustrates us. You clarify situations that once felt blurry. You illuminate the correct choices. You remove options that lead to unrest. You guide us toward the peaceful path. Lord, strengthen our spiritual awareness so that we can recognize the subtle ways you lead us, comfort us, and speak to us throughout the day, allowing peace to remain the filter of our intuition. My sheep hear my voice, John 10:27, becomes the reminder of divine connection. You sharpen our spiritual sensitivity. You calm distractions, seeking our attention. You highlight moments where you are moving. You help us interpret internal signals with clarity. You align our inner ear with your whisper. Lord, cover our atmosphere with a peace so thick that anything not aligned with you loses the ability to influence our emotions, thoughts, or spiritual well-being. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. 2 Corinthians 3:17 becomes the authority shaping our environment. You cleanse the air of spiritual heaviness. You remove emotional tension lingering unseen. You block influences that disturb calm. You fortify our surroundings with divine stillness. You create an atmosphere where peace reigns. Lord, carry us through this portion of prayer with an unfolding stillness, allowing every breath to feel lighter, every thought to feel clearer, and every emotion to feel calmer. As your peace continues expanding within us, the Lord gives strength to his people. The Lord blesses his people with peace. Psalm 29:11 becomes the blessing sealing this moment. You deepen the serenity you've given. You strengthen the foundation beneath our spirit. You surround us with a shield of stillness. You quiet everything that rises against our peace. You prepare us gently for the next part of prayer. Lord, as we enter this final portion of our morning prayer, allow your peace to settle upon us with fullness, depth, and permanence, saturating our mind, heart, and spirit with the calm only you can give. The Lord gives strength to his people. The Lord blesses his people with peace. Psalm 29:11 becomes the declaration sealing this entire prayer. You complete what you began in us. You fill the last spaces still needing rest. You make our heart whole in this moment. You let peace become our morning shield. You anchor us deeply in your presence. Lord, let your peace stand guard over our thoughts, so that nothing from this day, no message, no pressure, no demand can steal the tranquility you have established. You will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you. Isaiah 26:3 becomes the promise, strengthening our mental foundation. You make our thoughts slow, steady, and clear. You silence mental overactivity. You keep our focus fixed on truth. You prevent anxiety from re-entering unnoticed. You surround our mind with holy calm. Lord, protect our emotions throughout this day so they remain stable, balanced, and grounded in the healing you have poured into our heart during this prayer. Do not let your hearts be troubled. John 14:1 becomes the command shaping our emotional health. You quiet sadness before it takes root. You strengthen joy where it flickers. You guard our heart from discouragement. You lift heaviness before it becomes weight. You steady our emotions with supernatural peace. Lord, let your peace guide our decisions, so that every choice we make flows from wisdom, clarity, and spiritual alignment, ensuring we walk in the direction you desire. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Proverbs 3:5 becomes the wisdom directing our path. You help us choose calmly rather than react impulsively. You highlight the options that bring peace. You close doors that would cause unrest. You guide us toward fruitful outcomes. You make clarity feel natural and accessible. Lord, bless our steps today with divine protection so that everywhere we go is covered, shielded, and surrounded by your presence, keeping us safe from both visible and invisible danger. He will command his angels concerning you. Psalm 91:11 becomes the covering guarding our movement. You direct us away from harmful situations. You block danger before we see it. You keep us hidden under your refuge. You surround every place we walk. You give us confidence in divine safety. Lord, bring peace into our relationships so deeply that misunderstandings dissolve. Communication becomes gentle, and unity flows naturally, reflecting your character in every interaction. If it is possible, live at peace with everyone. Romans 12:18 becomes the instruction shaping our interactions. You soften our responses. You create understanding where tension could rise. You inspire humility in moments of conflict. You restore harmony with effortless grace. You help us represent peace in all our connections. Lord, protect our home with an atmosphere of safety, serenity, and holiness, allowing no unrest, conflict, or heaviness to enter through any doorway of our family life. My people will live in peaceful dwelling places. Isaiah 32:18 becomes the declaration over our household. You cleanse the spiritual environment completely. You guard the rooms with angelic presence. You maintain warmth and unity within the walls. You replace tension with comfort. You make our home a sanctuary of rest. Lord, calm our body physically with a peace that relaxes tension, slows stress responses, and prepares us to move through this day with steady breath and renewed strength. I will refresh the weary. Jeremiah 31:25 becomes the blessing restoring our physical being. You unwind what was tight. You strengthen what was weak. You bring balance to what was stressed. You regulate our rhythm internally. You make peace felt in every part of us. Lord, govern our speech so that our words carry the softness and wisdom of your peace, shaping our conversations with gentleness, clarity, and grace. Let your words always be full of grace. Colossians 4:6 becomes the standard for our communication. You restrain our reactions in tense moments. You help us speak truth lovingly. You guide our tone to reflect humility. You prevent conflict through careful expression. You let our voice minister calmness to others. Lord, fortify our boundaries so that we choose what fosters peace, avoid what disturbs it, and remain committed to environments and habits that protect our emotional, spiritual, and mental well-being. Guard your heart above all else. Proverbs 4:23 becomes the shield protecting our inner world. You give us the courage to decline what drains us. You strengthen our discernment to recognize harmful patterns. You remind us peace is worth preserving. You guide us away from unnecessary battles. You help us choose health over habit. Lord, strengthen our ability to walk away from stress, conflict, or negativity, teaching us that retreating into peace is not weakness, but wisdom aligned with your spirit. Pursue peace with all people. Hebrews 12:14 becomes the directive guiding our choices. You loosen attachments to chaos. You show us when silence is protection. You help us prioritize serenity over proving a point. You draw us into rest rather than reaction. You strengthen our spiritual maturity. Lord, help us carry the peace we have received into environments that are tense, pressured, or emotionally charged, allowing our presence to shift atmospheres and soften hearts. Blessed are the peacemakers, Matthew 5:9, becomes the calling placed on us today. You help us radiate calmness. You turn us into quiet stabilizers. You make us vessels of emotional healing. You shine through us without words. You use us to bring comfort wherever we go. Lord, let your peace guard us from internal negativity, self-doubt, discouragement, or emotional relapse, making us resilient and spiritually steady throughout the entire day. The Lord is the strength of my life. Psalm 27:1 becomes the truth strengthening our endurance. You silence the whispers of inadequacy. You replace insecurity with divine confidence. You anchor us in unshakable identity. You keep our emotions aligned with truth. You strengthen us from within. Lord, walk ahead of us into every appointment, conversation, or task, preparing the way so that everything unfolds with grace, clarity, and supernatural ease. The Lord goes before you. Deuteronomy 31:8 becomes the assurance guiding our steps. You straighten crooked paths. You remove unseen obstacles. You soften hardened hearts before we arrive. You prepare divine alignment in advance. You let peace meet us before the moment does. Lord, let your peace define our entire day, our pace, our posture, our decisions, and our reactions, making this morning prayer the foundation upon which every moment is built. The peace of Christ rule in your hearts. Colossians 3:15 becomes the governing force of our being. You set the emotional tone we will carry. You shape our internal stability. You reinforce tranquility in our thinking. You make calmness our first instinct. You let serenity become our daily rhythm. Lord, surround us with protection so complete that no danger, negativity, or spiritual interference can penetrate the peace. You have wrapped around us, allowing us to walk confidently in divine safety. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Isaiah 54:17 becomes the shield defending our day. You dismantle harmful intentions unseen. You silence spiritual disturbances, attempting rise. You guard our steps with angelic presence. You stop trouble before it forms. You keep us covered at all times. Lord, seal this entire prayer with a final blanket of peace, strong, deep, and unshakable, so that as we rise from this moment, we carry a calmness that cannot be taken, shaken, or diminished by anything ahead. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and give you peace. Numbers 6:24-26 becomes the blessing resting upon us now. You complete the work of stillness in our heart. You fill every remaining space with rest. You anchor our soul in quiet confidence. You go before us into every part of this day. You cover us with peace that endures.